We've talked about unit conversions in past lessons, and we're going to do the same thing here, except we're going to use the metric system. This is what really everyone else in the world except for America uses. We use inches, feet, yards, miles. Everyone else uses centimeters, kilometers, meters, things like that. When we travel, we say we're going 50 miles per hour. They might say, 50 kilometers per hour. That's how they do their measurement or metric system. And so in lesson 53, we're going to learn how to convert. Now, in order to know how to convert in example A, what we need to do is know this little chart here. It's all in groups of tens, in a sense, or powers of 10. And we have a little acronym we use here. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Terrible death. So if I put that acronym in this order, we would have K for king, and that stands for kilo. H, D, B. Okay, so we're here. B stands for base. Base is your base measure. And there's other measurements that they use other than meters, but meters is what we're going to use for the most part right now. So we're going to talk about meters. You have D for deci, C for centi, and for milli. And so you've heard centimeters before. Just combining the root of the word with the base measure. So this would be kilometers, or kilometers as we say, hectometers, decameters, decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. Now your base is what you consider your one value. Kilo is 1,000 times the base. So we could say there's 1,000 meters and 1 kilometer. Okay? This goes to the decimals. This is less than the amount of the base. Deci is 0.1. Centimeters is 0.01. And you'll probably know there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Well, look at where it is on the chart. 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. Or you could also say there's 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So if it's 1 apart, it's a value of 10 apart. This would be 100. This would be 1,000. If it went from here, it'd be like a million or whatever. But this is our chart that we use for the metric system. So let's now use that for example 53.1. It says convert 7,560 centimeters to kilometers. Okay. Well, you could do this different ways. You could count how many centimeters measured would be in a kilometer. Or we could go centimeters to meters because we know there's 100 centimeters and 1 meter. And then the centimeters would cross out. Then how many meters in a kilometer? Well, 1,000 meters in a kilometer, which is what we're trying to get to. So 1,000 meters. So the meters cross out in a kilometer. So your answer would be, you can't read it there, 7,560 over 100 times 1,000 and kilometers. Kind of scrunched in there, but that would be your answer. And that's how you use the metric system. So let's use a problem that it's squared. Okay, 15,740,000 centimeters squared to kilometers squared. Well, you could know that there is actually 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 centimeters in a meter. And so let's go ahead and do it that way for this one. I'm showing you both ways essentially in both of these since we're going from centimeters to kilometers in both of these. So either one of these ways would work. But we just said there's 100,000 centimeters in a kilometer. Now remember, if this is squared, we have to square the centimeters. If we square the centimeters, we square everything else. Now those can cancel, and we're at kilometers squared, so our answer would be 15,740,000 over 100,000 kilometers. Yes, you could divide it by 100,000. If you did that, you get 0.001574, but you do not have to square. But you do not have to do that. That is totally fine and would work as your answer. All right, if you did it going from centimeters to meters and meters to kilometers, it'd be over 100 times 1,000. Both of those work. Now let's look at, so that's the metric system. Let's look at unit conversion problems that go from the English system to the metric system or vice versa. So English system, we're talking about our inches, miles, feet, yards, things we use in America. Metric system is theirs. How do we have a converter? Well, the middleman, what comes in between, the bridge that lets you cross between both is this right here. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters and vice versa. So we can write it as 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters or vice versa, 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. Now let's look at a problem. 32 yards to meters. Okay, well, if we're trying to, there's no measurement from yards to meters, but we can get to yards to inches, because if we can get to inches, then we can get to centimeters, which gets us to the metric system. So how many inches in a yard? I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do know how many feet are in a yard. There's in 1 yard, there's 3 feet. Yards cross out. Now we're getting to inches. In 1 foot, there's 12 inches. Feet cross out. Now that we're at inches, okay, we can get to our measurement, our converter. We can say 1 inch under 2.54 centimeters. So now my inches can cross out. And we know that there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Centimeters cross out, and then we just write our answer. 32 times 3 is 12 times 2.54 meters all over 100. And that would be your answer. And that's how you convert from the English measurement system to the metric measurement system. One more type of problem and concept in this lesson. This is a really easy one. Okay, it says what percent by weight of Na, whatever that total chemical is, Na2S2O3 is sodium. Sodium is Na. If these are all your measurements. Well, what we're going to do is that same ratio box. Now there's 4 of them, so I've got to make 4 spots. We have Na2, S2, O3, and then your total. So we plug in, okay, this is our weight column, and we're going to try to find the percent. So Na2, we know the value of 1 Na is 23. So 23 times 2 is 46. S2, 1S is 32, so multiply it by 2 to get 64. O3, 1 oxygen is 16, multiply it by 3 to get 48. Now we add them all together. 46 plus 64 plus 48 is 158. Now that we have this part, this is what you've known to do. Here's all you do. To find what percent by weight of the total is sodium, all you do, okay, we take the sodium, cross out the others, take the sodium and divide it by the total. So we punch in 46 divided by 158, and that is roughly 29%. And that would be your answer. That is all you have to do for those. Create a ratio box and then divide what you're looking for by the total, or whatever else it tells you to divide. And that is the end of lesson 53.